Welcome to Computer Networks.
Hello everyone, welcome to Computer Networks channel. In this video, we will discuss on CCNA version 7 Introduction to Networks module 6, that is data link layer. The first one, why should I take this module? Welcome to data link layer. Every network has physical components and media connecting to the components. Different types of media need different information about the data in order to accept it and move it across the physical network. Think of it this way. A well-hit golf ball moves through the air fast and far. It can also move through the water, but not as the fast or as the far, unless it is helped by more forceful hit. This is because the golf ball is traveling through a different medium, water, instead of air. The data must have help to move it across different media. The data link layer provides this help. As you might have guessed, this help differs based on a number of factors. This module gives you an overview of these factors, how they affect data, and the protocols designed to ensure successful delivery. Let's get started. What will I learn today in this module? Module name, data link layer. The objective of this module is media access control in data link layer, supports the communication across networks. And also in this module, we will discuss on purpose of the data link layer, topologies, and data link frame. The first one, purpose of the data link layer. The data link layer of the OSI model, that is a layer 2. The network data for the physical network. The data link layer is responsible for network interface card (NIC) to network interface card communications. The data link layer does the following. The first one, enables the upper layers to access the media. The upper layer protocol is completely unaware of the type of media that is used for the forward the data and accept the data. Usually layer 3 packets, that is the IPv4 and IPv6, and encapsulates them into layer 2 frames. In the data link layer, the data frame format is frames. Controls how data is placed and received on the media. Exchanges frames between endpoints over the network media. Receives encapsulated data, usually layer 3 packets, and directs them to the proper upper layer protocol. Performs error detection and rejects any corrupted frame. In computer networks, a node is a device that can receive, create, store, or forward data along a communications path. A node can be either an end device such as a laptop or mobile phone, or an intermediary device such as an Ethernet switch. Without the data link layer, the network layer protocols such as IP, Internet Protocol, would have to make provisions for connecting to every type of media that could exist along a delivery path. Additionally, every time a new network technology or medium was developed, Internet Protocol would have to adapt. The diagram shows an example of how the data link layer adds layer 2 Ethernet destination and source NIC information to a layer 3 packet. It would then convert this information to a format supported by the physical layer. You can observe the diagram, layer 2 and layer 3. That is the destination NIC, source NIC, source IP and destination IP. The next one, IEEE 802 LAN MAN data link sublayers. IEEE 802 LAN MAN standards are specified to Ethernet LANs or wireless LANs, WLAN, wireless personal area networks, WPAN, and other types of local and metropolitan area networks. The IEEE 802 LAN or MAN data link layer consists of the following two sublayers. The first one, logical link control, and second one, media access control. The first one, logical link control, LLC. This IEEE 802.2 sublayer communicates between the networking software at the upper layers and the device hardware at the lower layers. It places information in the frame that identifies which network layer protocol is being used for the frame. This information allows multiple layer 3 protocols such as IPv4 and IPv6 to use the same network interface and media. Next one, media access control, MAC, implements this sublayer IEEE 802.3, 802.11 or 802.15 in a hardware. It is responsible for data encapsulation and media access control. It provides data link layer addressing and it is integrated with the various physical layer technologies. In the diagram shows the two sublayers LLC and MAC of the data link layer. The network layer protocol. In a data link layer, there is a two sublayers, LLC sublayer, MAC sublayer. In LLC sublayer, only supports the logical link control sublayer IEEE 802.2. And coming to the MAC sublayer, Ethernet IEEE 802.3, IEEE 802.11, IEEE 802.150. Okay, 15. The logical link control sublayer takes the network protocol data, which is typically in IPv4 or IPv6 packet, and adds layer 2 control information to help deliver the packet to the destination node. The MAC sublayer controls the NIC and other hardware that is responsible for sending and receiving data on the wired or wireless LAN or MAN medium. The MAC sublayer provides data encapsulation. The first one, frame delimiting. The framing process provides important delimiters to identify fields within a frame. These delimiting bits provide synchronization between the transmitting and receiving nodes. Addressing provides source and destination addressing for transporting the layer 2 frame between devices on the same shared medium. Next one, error control includes a trailer used to detect transmission errors. Coming to the MAC sublayer, the MAC sublayer also provides the media access control, allowing multiple devices to communicate over a shared medium, a off duplex. In a full duplex, communications do not require access control. Next one, providing access to media. Each network environment that packets encounter as they travel from a local host to remote host can have different characteristics. For example, an Ethernet LAN usually consists of many hosts contending for access on the network medium. The MAC sublayer resolves this. With serial links, the access method may only consist of a direct connection between only two devices, usually two routers. Therefore, they do not require the techniques employed by the IEEE 802 MAC sublayer. The router interfaces encapsulates the packet into the appropriate frame. A suitable media access control method is used to access each link. In any given exchange of network layer packets, there may be numerous data link layers and media transitions. At each hop along the path, a router performs the following layer 2 functions. The functions are: accepts the frame from a medium, de-encapsulates the frame, re-encapsulates the packet into a new frame, forwards the new frame appropriate to the medium of that segment of the physical network. Next one, data link layer standards. The data link layer protocols are generally not defined by a request for commands (RFCs). Unlike the protocols of the upper layer of the TCP/IP suite, the Internet Engineering Task Force (IETF) maintains the functional protocols and services for the TCP/IP protocol suite in the upper layers, but they do not define the functions and operations of the TCP/IP network access layer. Engineering organizations that define the open standards and protocols that apply to the network access layer, that is the OSI physical and data link layers, including the following standards: IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, ITU, International Telecommunications Union, ISO, International Organization for Standardization, ANSI, American National Standards Institute. Okay, these are the organizational logos. Okay, next one, you can see the topologies. In a physical and logical topologies here, as you learned in the previous topic, the data link layer prepares network data for the physical network. It must know the logical topology of a network in order to able to determine what is needed to transfer frames from one device to another. This topic explains this topic explains the ways in which the data link layer works with different logical network topologies. Okay, what is the meaning of topology? The topology of a network is the arrangement or the relationship of the network devices and the interconnections between them. There are two types of topologies used when describing the local area network or wide area networks: physical topology and logical topology. Coming to the first one, physical topology identifies the physical connections and how end devices and intermediary devices, that is routers, switches and wireless access points, are interconnected. Okay, I will repeat again. Identifies the physical connections and how end devices and intermediary devices are interconnected. The topology may also include specific device location such as room number and location on the equipment rack. Physical topology are usually point-to-point or star topology followed. Coming to the next topology, logical topology refers to the way a network transfers the frames from one node to the next. This topology identifies virtual connections using device interfaces and layer 3 IP addressing schemes. The data link layer sees the logical topology of a network when controlling data access to the media. It is a logical topology that influences the type of network framing and media access control used. In the diagram shows the physical topology for a small network. Okay, this is a diagram belongs to the logical topology of the network. The next one, point-to-point WAN topology. Physical point-to-point topologies directly connect two nodes as shown in the diagram. In this arrangement, two nodes do not have to share the media with other host. Additionally, when using the serial communication protocol such as the point-to-point protocol (PPP), a node does not have to make any determination about whether an incoming frame is destined for it or another node. Therefore, the logical data link protocols can be very simple, as all frames on the media can only travel to or from the two nodes. The node places to the frames and the media at one end, and those frames are taken from the media by the node at the other end of the point-to-point circuit. This is the diagram belongs to the point-to-point topologies are limited to the two nodes. Okay, here a point-to-point connection over Ethernet requires the device to determine if the incoming frame is destined for this node. A source and destination node may be indirectly connected to each other over some geographical distance using the multiple intermediate devices. However, the use of physical devices in the network does not affect the logical topology. In this diagram, adding intermediary physical connections may not change the logical topology. The logical point-to-point connections is the same. The next one, LAN topologies. In multi-access LANs, and devices are interconnected using star or extended star topologies. In this type of topology, n devices are connected to a central intermediary device. In this case, an Ethernet switch. An extended star extends this topology by interconnecting multiple Ethernet switches. The star and extended topologies are easy to install, very scalable. Very scalable indicates the easy to add and remove n devices, and easy to troubleshoot. Okay, early star topologies interconnected n devices using the Ethernet hubs. At times there may be only two devices connected on the Ethernet LAN. An example is two interconnected routers. This would be an example of Ethernet used by point-to-point topology. And now we can see the legacy of LAN topologies. Early Ethernet and legacy token ring LAN technologies included two other types of topologies, bus and ring. In bus topology, all n devices are chained to each other end, terminated in some form of each end. Infrastructure devices such as switches are not required to the interconnect the end devices. Legacy Ethernet networks were often bus topologies using the coaxial cables because it was inexpensive and easy to set up. Next topology, ring. N systems are connected to their respective neighbor forming a ring. The ring does not need to be terminated. Unlike in the bus topology, legacy fiber distributed data interface (FDDI) and token ring networks use ring topologies. The diagram shows how n devices are interconnected on LANs. It is common for the straight line in the networking graphics to represent the Ethernet LAN, including a simple star and extended star. This is the star topology, extended star, and bus topology and ring topology. Now you can see the off and full duplex communication. Understanding duplex communication is important when discussing LAN topologies because it refers to the direction of data transmission between two devices. There are two common modes of duplex. The first one, off duplex communication. Next one, full duplex communication. The first one, off duplex communication. Both devices can transmit and receive on the media, but cannot do so simultaneously. Wireless LANs and legacy bus topologies with Ethernet hubs use a off duplex mode. Off duplex allows only one device to send or receive at a time on the shared medium. The next one, full duplex communication. Both devices can simultaneously transmit, receive on the shared media. The data link layer assumes that the media is available for transmission for both nodes at any time. Ethernet switches operate in full duplex mode by default, but they can operate in off duplex if connecting to a device such as an Ethernet hub. The next one, access control methods. Ethernet LANs and VLANs. Okay, Ethernet LANs or WLANs, wireless log area networks, are examples of multi-access networks. A multi-access network is a network that can have two or more end devices attempting to access the network simultaneously. Some multi-access networks require rules to govern how devices share the physical media. There are two basic access control methods for shared media: contention based access, controlled access. Okay. Now you can see the first one, contention based access. In contention based multi-access networks, all nodes are operating in off duplex, competing for the use of the media. However, only one device can send at a time. Therefore, there is a process if more than one device transmits at the same time. Examples of contention-based access methods including the following here. The first one, carrier sends multiple access with collision detection, CSMA CD, used in legacy bus topology Ethernet LANs. Carrier sends multiple access with collision avoidance, CSMA CA, used in wireless LANs. Next one, controlled access. In a controlled access method, multi-access network, each node has its own time to use the medium. These deterministic types of legacy networks are inefficient because a device must wait its turn to access the medium. Examples of multi-access networks that use controlled access include the following: legacy token ring, legacy ARCNet. This is the token ring network. Next one, contention based access, CSMA CD. Examples of contention based access networks include the following: wireless LAN uses a CSMA CA. Legacy bus topology Ethernet LAN uses CSMA CD. Legacy Ethernet LAN using the hub uses CSMA CD. These networks operate in off duplex mode, meaning only one device can send or receive at a time. This requires a process to govern when a device can send and what happens when multiple devices send at the same time. If two devices transmit at the same time, a collision will occur. If two devices transmit at the same time, a collision will occur. For legacy Ethernet LANs, both devices will detect the collision on the network. This is the collision detection CD portion of the CSMA CD. The NIC network interface card compares the data transmitted with the data received, or by recognizing that signal amplitude is higher than the normal on the media. The data sent by both devices will be corrupted and will need to be resent. Next one, contention based CSMA CA. Another form of CSMA used by IEEE 802.11, that is wireless LANs, is the carrier sense multiple access collision avoidance. CSMA CD is the wired LANs. CSMA CA is the wireless LANs. CSMA CA uses a method similar to the CSMA CD to detect if the media is clear. CSMA CA uses additional techniques. In wireless environment, it may not be possible for a device to detect a collision. CSMA CA does not detect the collision but attempts to avoid them by waiting before transmitting. Each device that it transmits includes the time duration that is needed for the transmission. All other wireless devices receive this information and know how long the medium will be unavailable. In the diagram, if host A receiving a wireless frame from the access point, hosts B and C will also see the frame and how long the medium will be unavailable. After a wireless device sends an 802.11 frame, the receiver returns an acknowledgement so that the sender knows the frame arrived. Whether it is an Ethernet LAN using the house or wireless LAN, contention-based systems do not scale well under heavy media use. Here, Ethernet LANs using the switches do not use a contention-based system because the switch and host NIC operate in full duplex mode. The next one, data link frame. This topic discusses in detail what happens to the data link frame as it moves through a network. The information appended to a frame is determined by the protocol being used. The data link layer prepares the encapsulated data for transport across the local media by encapsulating it with a header and trailer to create a frame. The data link protocol is responsible for NIC to NIC communications within the same network. Although there are many different data link layer protocols that describes data link layer frames, each frame type has three basic parts: header, data, trailer. Unlike other encapsulation protocols, the data link layer appends information in the frame in the form of the trailer at the end of the frame. All data link layer protocols encapsulates the data within the data field of the frame. However, the structure of the frame and the fields contained in the header and trailer vary according to the protocol. Okay, the trailer vary according to the protocol. There is no one frame structure that meets the needs of all data transportation across all types of media. Depending on the environment, the amount of control information needed in the frame varies to match the access control requirements of the media and logical topology. For example, a wireless LAN frame must include the procedures for collision avoidance and therefore require the additional control information when compared to the Ethernet frame. As shown in the diagram, a fragile environment, more controls are needed to ensure delivery. The header and trailer fields are larger as more control information is needed. The next one, frame fields. Framing breaks the stream into grouping environment with control information inserted in the header and trailer as values in the different fields. This format gives the physical signals a structure that are recognized by the nodes and decoded into the packets at the destination. The generic frame fields in the diagram, not all protocols includes all these fields. The standard for the specific data link protocols define the actual frame format: header, packet, trailer. The header again consists of frame start, addressing, type, control. Data is the same. Come to trailer, error detection and frame stop. Okay. Frame fields including the following: frame start and stop indicator flags used to identify the beginning and end limits of the frame. Addressing indicates the source and destination nodes on the media. Type identify the layer 3 protocol in the data field. Control identify the special flow control services such as the quality of service QoS. Quality of service gives the forwarding priority to certain types of messages. For example, voice over IP, VoIP frames normally receive priority because they are sensitive to delay. Data contains the frame payload, that is a packet header, segment header and the data. Error detection included after the data to form the trailer. Included after the data to from the trailer. The data link layer protocols add a trailer to the end of the each frame. In a process called error detection, the trailer determines if the frame arrived without error. It places a logical or mathematical summary of the bits that comprise the frame in the trailer. The data link layer adds error detection because the signals on the media could be subject to interference, distortion or loss that would substantially change the bit values that those signals represent. A transmitting node creates a logical summary of the contents of the frame. Now the cyclic realistic CRC value. This value is placed on the frame check sequence FCS field to represent the contents of the frame. In the Ethernet trailer, the FCS provides a method for receiving a node to determine whether the frame experienced transmission errors. Layer 2 addresses. The data link layer provides the addressing using the transporting frame across a shared local media. Device addresses at this layer are referred to as physical addresses. Data link layer addressing is contained within the frame header and specifies the frame destination node on the local area network. It is typically at the beginning of the frame, so the NIC can quickly determine if it matches its own layer 2 addresses before accepting the rest of the frame. The frame header may also contain source addresses of the frame. LAN and WAN frames. Ethernet protocols are used by wired LANs. Wireless communications fall under WLAN IEEE 802.11 protocols. These protocols are designed for multi-access networks. These protocols in topology is point-to-point PPP protocol, HDLC protocol, frame relay, and ATM X.25. Thank you for watching this video and don't forget to subscribe this channel.